to Burgers and Bourbon. I am Brian. That's Chris. That's Aaron. And we had Pop in here a second ago. Literally, so quick story. We're setting up, getting ready to shoot.
We'd already started recording.
Yeah, we kind of, we didn't.
The camera was running.
Yeah, the camera was running, and this random guy just walks down the hall, and he looks in, and he sees we have this bourbon sitting out here, and so he walks over to the door.
Oh
and
my gosh.
We prop it open and give him a little sample. He gave us his review, and which we'll give in a minute, and then he left. We have absolutely
I thought it was a client of yours.
No,
you were waving at him.
We should have invited him in on the.
Absolutely.
We should have just invited
Don't
him
even
in.
know who the guy was.
He had a shirt on that said "Pop." That's all. Yeah. The myth, the legend, something about it. Somebody. Yeah. But anyway, no, we have absolutely no idea who that guy was. Anyway, it's pretty funny. That's how we roll around here. Anyway, so this week we are testing a bourbon, and this is Chattanooga whiskey.
Chattanooga whiskey. So we're kind of breaking the rules that we discussed. Let me throw that on there for you. There you go. And this is the Cask strength. They have a couple of different things, and they actually have a bottled and bond getting ready to come out.
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. This is one Chris would kind of tell the story here, because he's not doing his job. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'll let Chris kind of tell the story of this one, but well, you tell the story.
Well, okay,
so Bob's review was it was hot. That's what.
Yeah, it was hot, which we did warn him because it's pop. Yeah, because it's 111 proof, so it's a cask strength bourbon.
Now, when you say cask strength, tell everybody what that really means.
It's basically they're pouring it straight out of the cask. It's not filtered. It's not watered down. It's not cut in any way. In fact, with cask strength bourbons, it's not unusual to have a little debris in the bottle that's from the char in the barrel, because it's not filtered. And that's why this is only a 2-year-old bourbon, but look at the color of it. It's dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very,
because they're not cutting it.
Yeah. I don't see any debris in the bottom of it, but that's what it means.
We picked this up for our Burgers and Bourbon, or excuse me, not our Burgers and Bourbon, that's this. For our bourbon night that we do, which, by the way, that's an open invitation. If you're watching this and you're interested, we have a good time. Call us and we'll give you details. Bourbon night is the second Thursday of every month right here at our office. Just a good time. But we picked it up for that. Everybody really loved it. And we looked up the backstory. Okay, so it's an actual Tennessee bourbon. Turns out that Chattanooga was like a huge distilling era pre-Prohibition, like 90-something different distilleries, I think it was in the area. When Prohibition ended and all that stuff happened, they just didn't bring bourbon back to Hamilton County, Tennessee, because it was illegal. And there was a big push. It's one of those few things, in my opinion, where social media really did something good. I want to say it was 2012. There was a big social media push to get distilleries back into Chattanooga because of the history. And, I mean, it really took off, and they pushed the Tennessee legislature to push it, or to approve it. And it was eventually done, and this is the big one that came out of the area. And it's, I've tried their other products, and this is a good whiskey. It really is. Even though it breaks the rule of being a Kentucky bourbon.
What's the price point on this one?
This is $45 to $50, so it's fairly affordable.
Yeah, in the middle, yeah. Well, we always talk about things that we, how we like to drink it, or what we'd like to, smell, taste, that kind of thing. And as you're talking,
there's a little bit of the char.
Oh yeah.
Got a little char.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can see it in there now. Well, the interesting thing is as he was sitting here yapping, you could smell it. I didn't even put it up near my nose, and I started to smell it. So it was woo, man. So
yeah.
So on a totally side note, we went to Malone's, which is a new restaurant here in Louisville, and it's out on the east end of Louisville, out in the it's still called the Paddock Shops or something. I don't know what it's been. It's been two different names or something.
Summit used to be the Summit, right?
I think it's called the Paddock now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's we went there. Kelly and I went there to have dinner, and I was looking at their bourbon menu, and they had. I was telling these guys, usually when you look on there, you see Pappy is more often than not the most expensive one you find on there, but they had a Woodford Reserve that was 3 times as expensive as Pappy.
Which one?
This one, it was the. What did I tell you? The Baccarat edition?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't realize that they were charging that much for it.
Unbelievable. It's got to be. It has to be
for
$300 for a drink.
$300 for a drink.
Yeah. And Pappy was only $100.
It can't be that good.
Well, I don't know. I can't believe anything.
I would love to try it, but I'm not going to spend $300 on a drink.
Yeah, me either. But now the bottle was crystal, but the bottle alone was $5,000. So that gives you a perspective, right? So there's $5,000 for a bottle, and this is $45.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you about one that I had. When we get finished up here, I had another one that I thought was excellent, which we're gonna try here in a couple of months. But I'll give you my thoughts on that in just a minute. So anyway, let's taste it. As we always do, we taste it, kind of give you our opinion of it. And really, we do these on a Friday, so that if you're out and you're running by the liquor store or running home and you want to pick up a bourbon and you're really not sure what you're looking for, that's why we do these, so you can go, you know what, I haven't tried the one they had, so maybe I'll pick it up. So what do you guys think?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Very
I love
good.
this stuff. Now it's hot.
It's hot. That's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, it's very hot, but it is very flavorful.
Yeah.
Real heavy caramel.
And it really is not, like Pop said when he was in here, as hot as it is, it's not as strong on the finish as what you would think.
And if I looked on their website, they really go into all the different malts and stuff that they use. So you do pick up a lot of that flavor.
It's really on the back. They got their whole mash bill on the back, right?
Actually it is.
I mean,
throw this out there. We can see that. I don't know if the camera can focus in on that or not, but it does give you all the details right there on the bottle.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's good, but as I always say, you use that ice in there?
Yeah. All right. Threw some ice out here.
I will tell you, this is one that I'm not going to drink this neat. I'll be honest.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try it neat. It's not one that if I went out to a restaurant, I'd be like, I want that one, but and I'll drink it neat. That's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to throw a couple of them in there because I'm probably going to need it to get through that one. You want one or two?
Yeah, I'll do two.
All right.
I typically prefer mine on the rocks, but for tastings, obviously.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
Well,
if I'm
tried this.
Enjoying it,
Yeah.
I prefer it on the rocks.
We tried this at our bourbon night thing, and everybody there tried it with a little bit of ice in it, and everybody liked it better that way. It really just brings out all the flavors.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you ever try a bourbon, and you're typically a rocks drinker, or if you're gonna mix it with a soda, just go buy something cheap. Buy a well bourbon. But if you're gonna try a bourbon and you're typically drinking a bourbon that you drink with ice, just try it neat one time, because you really will get a different profile, and it is better. So you'll find out that some bourbons are better with and without ice. I mean, I had, and I'll speak to that in just a minute. The one I had the other night, but I'll give you. Did you try it with ice? Everybody?
I tried it with ice. Yeah, and it does take the edge off. Yeah.
It not just takes the edge off. You're right, it does, but it brings out a lot of the flavor. There's more flavor to it. That's fantastic.
And I will tell you, this actually would be, most time when you go to a restaurant and you order something on the rocks, you typically get like a block of ice, right?
Yeah.
Or a round piece of ice, but it's usually a big chunk of ice.
Yep.
You don't get two little cubes. This actually would be really good with a block of ice,
right?
Because it would get really, really cold real fast.
Okay, I've got the sphere cubes at home.
Yeah.
And I did try this like that, and you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was fantastic because it doesn't water it down as much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So this is totally a different bourbon.
Yep.
Getting it a little chilled, and literally it's taken we've been on here a minute that we've had that ice in there. So you really need to have a big block of ice. It kind of chills the whole thing. This would be very good with ice. But again, I'll go back and say that if you're always a neat drinker, try putting some ice in there.
Try it like this.
It literally will change the flavor of what you drink.
I would argue you should try most any good bourbon. You should try it both ways, because it really does change the flavor with a lot of things.
Yeah. Right.
Definitely on something like this.
Yeah.
And I'll add to this, I took this home the other night, and I am a big fan of old fashions. I love drinking an old fashioned. And I made an old fashioned with this the other night, and it was one of the best ones I've ever made, because that extra heat that's in there really cuts through all the sweetness that's in the old fashioned. And man, I would highly recommend that.
And he likes old fashioned because he's kind of old fashioned.
I'm very old fashioned,
so that makes sense.
That does explain where half the bottle went to.
Well, I mean, we had it at an event, but I put a little bit of a hit in it.
Yeah. So here's the other thing. The other night when we were out, I've mentioned this a couple times. I have my go-to, which we have not done yet. We've not done any of our go-tos yet. which we may do that over the next couple of weeks. But I have one that I typically will go in, and it's readily available. It's about $60, so it's not hard to find. But I like it. I like it because it's up front. It's not bad, and on the back end, it's not bad at all. It's very, very good. They actually have several different. They have a rye. They have a 4 or 5 year. This happens to be a 10-year, and I like the 10. They had a special edition. They have single barrel.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But I actually like the 10-year is my favorite. I've tried them all, but I actually like 10-year favorite. Now, the other night, I was looking, and we were sitting at the bar waiting on our table, and I kind of look up, and they had this particular bourbon, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because we're going to redo it. But I had not had it before. I sent you guys a text and said it was delicious, and so anyway, I tried it, and it's a little higher on the price point. It's going to be up around $100, $110
for a bottle.
Like that. Yeah, for a bottle. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit more, but I will tell you, it is better than my normal go-to. It's smoother up front, and it's even smoother on the back. There's really no back end to it. It is excellent. But I will say this, that I drank the whole thing neat, but at the very end, I shouldn't say the whole thing, 90% of it. At the very end, I threw a little ice in there and kind of swirled it around to get the last little bit out of it. And I think it was better with ice. Even though it's turned out to probably going to be my favorite neat, I think when I put ice in there, it's better.
We keep saying this, but sometimes just a little bit of ice or, just a little bit of spring water is what you're traditionally supposed to use. It brings out flavors that you don't get when you're drinking it neat.
Yeah.
That's why I think you should try everything both ways. Then pick the one that you like.
Well, hang on. You don't
try every bourbon.
Okay,
let's
clarification. We don't want to try anything both ways, but let's just be honest. No. All right, so let's go through and rate it. Aaron, what do you think?
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
8? All right.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Go
So
ahead.
this is kind of your thing.
All right.
So I'm going to go 7.5, and the reason I'll do that is simply because I like neat better. And so I judge any bourbon based off the one, my kind of go-to and the one that I had the other night, because they're going to rank right up there, kind of neck and neck. Those are going to be sort of in the 9.5 for me. I don't know that I've ever had a 10, but 9.5 for those for sure. So I'm going to go 7.5 only because I can't really drink this neat. I wouldn't drink this neat. It's a little too much.
There is a 91 proof, I think it is. I may be wrong. That's the same thing. It's just not the cask strength, so it's cut a little bit. And you might want to try that one.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a lot of flavor, though.
There is a ton of flavor. There's a ton of flavor.
Yeah, and I'm a Kentucky guy, but everybody knows I'm a Tennessee fan. But I hate to be this way. I'm going to have to go 8.5.
Oh.
And the only reason I'm not going 9 is because so far, go back and watch it, the Kentucky Par one that we did.
Yeah.
That is so fantastic, and I gave it a 9, and I can't. This is not as good as Kentucky Par, but it's really close.
Yeah,
this is a great bourbon.
We still have one that we need to do, although we've got the bottle back there. We've all had it. We just don't have. There's nothing in it because it's so delicious that it's always gone.
We killed it,
and it's so incredibly difficult to get.
Yeah.
Although I don't even know if it's even out. You may find a couple of bottles in places, but you're talking
180 to 190.
Yeah,
it is a super premium.
It's a super premium. But it is absolutely fantastic. Actually, to be honest, I like the other two a little bit better. But that one is delicious and fantastic and everything else. But it's very, very difficult to get.
It's hard to get, and we definitely need to review that one.
We need to review it, but we won't have anything to taste. But we'll at least talk about the bottle. We'll have the bottle here, and we can talk about it because we've had it.
Maybe we'll get it sometime in the future. We'll wait till we can get it.
Yeah, well, hopefully, if our partners do their job, we'll have plenty of it in the future, right?
There was a little hint right there. Right?
I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be the case. But.
Yeah.
All right.
This is in that $40 to $60 price point, which is where I think the bulk of the great bourbons are in that window.
Yeah.
This one is way up towards the top. This is a great product that I wouldn't hesitate to buy again. And I'm amazed that it says greater than 2 years on the age, so it's 2 to 3 years old. Yeah. I'm amazed at how good this is for a bourbon that young.
Yeah. Well, we had another one. The Three Keys was only a 2 year, and it was very good. I mean, it was very pungent up front. Yep. But it was very good on the back end, too.
This one's good all the way around. I love this.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's another week for bourbon, and this one is again Chattanooga whiskey. Chattanooga whiskey. Oh, and by the way, this would be a decent bottle, not a great bottle, but a decent bottle to decorate, depending on how you decorate it. To me, this would be a good one because I just fill mine with golf tees. For Chris, I don't know. That'd be a bit iffy, right? Because
actually, I was thinking about doing this one. One of the things I thought was cool was that the top is just a cork.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll put in it. I mean, it's a Tennessee thing, so maybe I'll find something orange to put in there. But this bottle's going to get decorated.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just you like the ones that are a little less
small labels,
small label because of what you do to them. My favorite you really like because there's no label at all. So it doesn't have a label. Oh no, it's got a little label at the bottom.
It's got one down at the bottom.
Little tiny. I forgot about that.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, it does have a label. You know what it is.
Right.
But anyway, all right. That's
we
it
used
for
to call that moonshine, is what they call that, with no label.
Have you ever had really good moonshine?
Absolutely.
Have you had? Good
There is a gentleman who comes to our bourbon night every single month,
right.
and he makes his own, and he usually brings some.
I was there one night and
he brought pineapple, which I thought would be really bad, and so did everybody else, and we destroyed a little mason jar of pineapple moonshine. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really, really good moonshine. It's not bad.
No, and people think of moonshine as like Everclear. It's like drinking pure alcohol. No.
Yeah.
Most of the moonshines that are out there now are just whiskeys that weren't aged and then they're flavored, and they're 60 or 70 proof at the most. They're not as potent as normal whiskeys.
Yeah. So they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And by the way, all the moonshine shows on Discovery Channel, they're totally fake. If anybody thinks that's real,
oh my gosh,
you're out of your mind.
Please don't watch that.
You can't promote an illegal business on TV and think, woo, we're getting away with it. It just doesn't work that way. But I've had so many people go, man, I can't believe they're doing that. They're at risk of getting arrested. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. But anyway,
the cops are probably sitting there drinking the product behind the camera.
Well, it just doesn't work that way. But anyway, all right. So that's another edition of Burgers and Bourbon. This is a bourbon Chattanooga whiskey. Try it out. If you got any suggestions on what we should be trying, make sure you send it to us.
Please let us know.
I mean, our list is long to begin with. We hadn't got to our favorites yet. But anyway, if you do have one that you want us to try, send it to us. We'll be happy to try it. Last week we tried a burger from Blind Squirrel. Really a good burger. Probably wasn't excellent, but very, very good. Very cool place to check out. So make sure you check out Blind Squirrel. And by the way, they probably carry.
And they have a good bourbon selection.
They have a good bourbon selection. And they may even have that. So anyway, that's it for another week. Make sure you check us out every week. Hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified when we put out new content. Otherwise, have a good week, and here's to a happy Friday and a little bourbon.